Port.ca. I'm sitting with the lovely Sandra Sullivan, and we're going to answer more of your questions and more of my questions on Islam and what's really going on in Canada right now. The indoctrination process is one that begins with things like the battle at the Peel District School Board, where we have, for lack of a better term, cowards and traitors. The Peel District School Board people, and their president, Tony Pontes, are all, and now Brampton Mayor, Mississauga and Brampton Mayors, Linda Jeffrey and Bonnie Crombie are in full support of Islamic prayer in school, where they can indoctrinate our kids, talk kids in the hallways into coming on in and praying so they can go home and become Muslim and argue with their parents about the fact that Islam is good and so on. It's complete and total brainwashing. And there's a little bit more you said you wanted to cover on the subject too, so I'm going to put it in your hands now, about Imam Omar Subdar, who's doing everything that he can to indoctrinate as many Canadian kids as possible into Islam.
Yes, many Canadian kids will be open up when they read the Quran. They're going to bring the Quran to the school. And as I said it before, and I will always say it, the Quran itself, it's a hate literature. Like that's the Quran itself. It's not about what they preach or what they say. The Quran itself, it's full of hate toward the Jews, the Christian, the infidel, the kafir, and all of them. So the first chapter, this is every kid must learn it as young as 3 years old. Like from 3 years old, like as soon as they start talking, they teach him right away. Who's your God? Allah. Who's your Prophet? Muhammad. Who's your what's your constitution? The Quran. They will bring it in a form of a question.
That's the one that bothers me the most. What's your constitution?
Quran. I ask every Muslim kid, what's your constitution? In Canada, he's gonna say Quran.
Yes.
He's not gonna say
out of curiosity. Yeah, I know, but out of curiosity, when they say the Constitution is the Quran, what flag do they fly? That's the big one. What flag would you fly as your banner?
Exactly. There's no
there's
no
flag.
The flag of Shahada. You know the flag of ISIS?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the flag.
May as well, huh?
Yeah, that's the flag. It has a Shahada, no God but Allah, and Muhammad his messenger. That's the flag of Islam.
So looking forward to seeing that flag at the next Olympics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So back to the chapter 1, first chapter, surah in the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha in the opening. It has a verse in it at the end. It says غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Maghdub mean angry. Allah, he's angry at them. The wrath of Allah, it's upon them. Okay. Which is all the explanations, the book of explanation, even the Imam Omar Subdar approved it. He's a Canadian Imam on the Canadian soil. He said yes, according to every tafsir, that's the people who got the wrath of Allah on them are the Jews. Okay?
Now, why is this guy not in jail for hate speech? Out of curiosity.
Because once you want to put him in jail, and what about the Quran? The source of the problem is the Quran. It's going to be in every school. They're going to teach the kids, Canadian kids, to recite these verses. And these verses incite hatred toward the Jews and toward the Christians. Al-Maghdub alayhim wa dallin. Dallin, that means they gone astray. So according to this is from the first page of the Quran, the first chapter, right away, the insight of the hatred of the young kids to recite it, that they're going to ask them, who is Al-Maghdub alayhim? In Arabic, Jews in Arabic called Al-Yahud. So when he mentioned Al-Yahud, that means he said the Jews. So the wrath of Allah, if Allah hate the Jews, right?
Yeah.
So what will be the Muslim to do? Common sense, right? To hate them.
Okay.
If Allah hate them, they must hate them.
So we have this book, once again, that was just made up by a nutcase, meaning that Allah is just a fictional character made up by the same nutcase.
Yeah.
But this nutcase, being the Prophet Muhammad, indicates clearly that Allah is the creator of the universe and life, and we've all come from a clot of blood and so on. Now, why would the creator of an entire universe with essentially an infinite number of planets and stars and an infinite number of galaxies care about what one little creation on one little insignificant planet somewhere in the vast universe, what they pray to or how they pray or what symbol they decide to wear around their necks? And that's the problem here, is that no one's thinking.
And there's another bigger problem. This is eternally. To them,
Oh, it's
the
forever.
Quran is the final message. So if Allah, He has His wrath, His anger on the Jews, that means it's eternally, and He will never love them. He will never forgive them. And according to that, Muslim has to kill the Jews.
But it's the first
Till the
page of
end
the
of-
book. What did they do in this story? What did the Jews do if it's on the first page?
They're
It-
not
it would
even
be
bothered
like-
to open the first page.
Well, the first
That's
page
my
would be here.
advice
Okay.
to every Jew.
Well, how about a fairy tale like this, all right? Once upon a time, there was a guy named John. Now go kill him.
Yeah,
Well, what happened? Where's the first part? Is there 3 prequels that tell us what John did?
yeah.
So you're saying that there's nothing in...
No, from the first chapter, it
Yeah.
says Allah angry at them. But down as we read the Quran, because they killed the prophets, because they broke the Sabbath, so he turned them to pigs and monkeys. And in the Quran, it says that they are like donkeys who carry books, but they don't know what's in it. That's the Quran describe the Jewish people, and they are filthy and they are cursed. All names and
Well,
many,
how about the lie about making matzah bread? Where it's got to be the blood from a slit throat of a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Christian child, is that right? Is that the way they say it?
To them, the Jews are like the worst creature, the infidels in general, the worst creatures. And from from the very first chapter, that every kid must to learn it, and they recite this with the prayer. You know, when they pray, when they do like this and they go, ruk'ah.
Okay,
They call
sorry.
ruk'ah.
I have to word it the way it is. When they've got their foreheads on the floor and
Yeah.
their asses in the air, very gay-like, I might add. I mean, I know you Muslims can't stand homosexuals. They look quite gay. In fact, it looks like it's a gay bathhouse.
Yeah.
You could pick your ass and just go to town on it. That's what I interpret this like. So you've got this gay behavior, and they're stating that we're praying and we have to hate the Jews because the fictional character Allah has made it clear that you're supposed to, and none of you question it. They don't question it. They just do it.
They just do it, and also it's eternal. That's the problem. To them, it's eternally, and every kid has to, number one, when they recite this verse, and they recite this verse with every ruk'ah, with every salah, almost 17 times a day. So every kid has to recite this. And tell me why after that, why the anti-Semitism is rising, and why the anti-Christian is rising,
Yes.
and why anti-atheist, anti-infidel, anti-everything is
And the
rising,
big question,
anti-human.
oh sure, but the big question I've got is why are Muslims in Canada, the most evil of the evil, the only ones getting any government protection?
Because the evil of the evil taking care of them. The head of the evil.
Yes.
We have them there in the government house.
Well, of course, Jihadi Justin Trudeau.
Jihadi Justin Trudeau. If he goes, we're all fine.
We need Kelly Leach to win the next election, don't we? We really
It
do.
depends. We'll see. We need a strong leader who's willing to say it without
Well,
any
there's-
political correctness or without any fear.
And there's only 2 that have done that so far. That's Kelly Leach and Aaron O'Toole. So we need one of those 2. Well, I mean, it should be me, but
I know it
didn't.
should be you.
I didn't have $225,000 to run for leadership
Yeah.
of the PC party.
Yes.
And like most political parties, I'm too honest. The Libertarians
You
told
know
me
what?
that.
Regardless, anyone will be after Trudeau. I think he will be way better.
Oh.
Like a relief.
Absolutely.
But they have to recognize the danger of Islam. Once they know that, this country will be saved.
Okay, so let's recap that. On page 1 of the Quran, the holy book of supposedly the religion of peace, you must kill the Jews because Allah, the fictional character, is extremely angry with them, but forgets to tell us why until much later in the book. The Quran, of course, being written completely out of order, I might add.
Yes.
Yeah. Does this sound stupid to any of you? Because all this sounds really stupid to me. Does this sound stupid to you?
Very stupid. And the more stupid than this is the rabbis, the Jewish rabbis who's going around Toronto doing the Ring of Peace and defending Islam.
Well,
This is even these people make it worse.
this Pope idiot, the first that we have right now, is doing the exact same thing.
Ring of Peace. They're going around Toronto doing Ring of Peace. A Jewish rabbi.
What happened to the men in this world? Would you guys please empower somebody, grow a set of balls for the love of God? We need somebody with balls to get in there and say enough is enough.
Yes.
Shut up, you whiny babies. We don't care. Your book is stupid. It's evil.
Yes.
Your religion is dumb. It's destroying everything that mankind's
Yes.
ever created. It's
is.
never made anything. It's never built anything.
And it's
it
approved
can't
with
even build a
history.
house of cards, for God's sake.
It's proved with history. It's proved with evidence. It's not like we're talking. The imams themselves,
Yeah.
from their mouth, they're saying this in Canada, on the Canadian soil, teaching kids to hate the Jews and Christian in the Canadian public schools. Wonder why?
Yeah, I wonder why. My blood
Wonder
pressure's
why.
already up. Listen, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate you being here for this particular episode. Parents, if you know that the Quran is being taught to any of your kids in any school, anywhere in the Western world, you have to get in,
Yes.
see your principals, and stop it dead. Here's the good news about your principals. Your school principals are all gutless these days. Go in there with the angry expression on your face, and if you need to, you get a court order to stop it.
Exactly. And my advice to every parent, please be careful. Talk to your kids. If they come home with any Islamic books, just take it away from them. Don't let them read the Quran. It's a hate literature, and they're going to brainwash them. And sooner or later, they're going to turn against you. You're going to be infidel to them, and they have to hate you and wage a jihad against you. And it's a true story in Hadith that one of Muhammad's followers, he ended up killing his dad after he became a Muslim.
Yeah, so parents, then look at it this way. Protect yourselves. Keep your kids away from this stuff. Sandra Solomon, Kevin J. Johnston, freedomreport.ca.